All right, I wanted to do a quick little video today on my Harbor Freight trailer. This is the 1,750-pound capacity that folds and tilts. However, the problem I'm going to describe today, I believe, will apply to any of their trailers since they use the same fender and fender bracket. It may also apply to some other brands that use a similar bracket and fender setup. Now, let me describe the problem I had real quick. After owning this trailer for about a year, I was driving down the road one day. Luckily, I was close to home and my window was down, so I heard a noise. I stopped and got out, and what had happened was my fender had actually fallen off the trailer and actually rolled forward underneath the wheel and got completely flattened out. This metal right here, this fender was actually flat. I was able to luckily retrieve the fender and fold the fender back into shape so I could reuse it. Now let me describe exactly what happened. This fender, as it's going down the road, it's constantly moving. It's constantly bouncing like this. Just from the bouncing in the road, it's constantly bouncing around. So if anybody is familiar with metal, you know if you bend a piece of metal enough, you get it to break, and that's exactly what happened down here. This spot being the weakest because of the two bolt holes right here, had cracked, developed a crack right through here, and eventually just broke right off, and that's what caused this whole fender to fall right off. Like I said, I was going slow and I was able to hear the noise, and I retrieved the fender. So what I did is I welded this back together again. You can see I welded this right where it broke, and I was able to reattach it to the trailer. However, I didn't want this to continue happening, and again, you can see that's what's happening going down the road all the time. You're just riding, and that's constantly just, and over time that's just going to break off. So what I did is I came up with this little bracket. I just had some scrap pieces of metal. You can use anything. I think you can probably buy this at the hardware store. It's a pretty good heavy duty piece of metal. It's nothing I can really bend with my hand. Just put it in the vise, and I gave it a little L bracket, a little bend right here. And then what I did is I bolted it directly to my trailer bed. Now, I have a pressure treated piece of plywood as my trailer bed, so I was able to just use a couple of bolts and I just screwed it right to the wood. However, if you don't have this, you can see the frame of the trailer down here. You can certainly bolt it to that metal trailer frame right there. So what I did from there is I drilled a hole into the back of the, well, I just drilled a hole into the fender bracket itself right here. You can see the hole I drilled through it, lined up these two holes, and I have this bolt. Now this is a just a pan head, I believe they call it, with an Allen head. The reason I use this is you don't want to stick your bolt through this way. You don't want your hardware sticking through the inside of this hole. The reason being, there's not a whole lot of room in here for between the tire and the fender. There's probably just I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch. There's not a whole lot of room. So I used this bolt, and I went through this side here, and that way when I bolt this up, what that will do is give it the added strength to give this fender a little more support, so it'll stop moving around. Bolt this on here. So once I'm able to tighten this up, what this is going to do, it's going to give this fender the extra support it needs so that it won't shake anymore. And let me show you. If I hit that, if you remember a while ago when I hit that, that was wobbling up and down. That bracket holds that sturdy. I've put many miles on this trailer since I put this extra bracket on, and it's prevented any further cracking or any further issues I've had. So I hope this helps. It's a pretty common fender bracket assembly, I believe, so it might be useful on many different trailers. That's how I fixed it on my Harbor Freight. Thanks for watching.